Well, hello, my dragon family. Araya on Rock coming to you live here and for the love of dragons on Wednesday. I like to shake it up, likes to feel in line, in flow. That's what we've been working on. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention. The energy is so soft and so quiet this week. After last week's big bursts forth, the intensity of the Schumann resonance, what we've been moving into and expanding into, super exciting. So I just wanted to come on today in the lull, in the soft point between these big waves of energy, because I do feel coming on Sunday with all the speakers, the Dragon Thunder Summit, if you're not aware, is July 2nd is when it airs. There are 28 speakers, and I just sent out a newsletter yesterday. So check your emails if you're on the newsletter list. I don't think I've sent one out in months. If you want to be updated of anything going on with Dragon events or new releases of decks or products or books or things like that, new language, just go to dragonthunder.info, scroll down to the bottom, and just sign on for the newsletter. Like I said, I don't do them often, but it is a nice way to be made aware, unless you're always watching the videos, because I always talk about stuff of the next program coming up. Say I schedule a quantum flight, you'll know about it through that. So definitely only when the dragons are ready to speak. And so I sent one out yesterday about the Dragon Thunder Summit, because this is a super exciting gathering. It is the first one that I've noticed come together of global speakers. It's all continents, all over the world, Australia to the UK, where it's being hosted, South Africa, all the way down into South Africa, over to the United States, I believe from Canada. So this is just the first of the first. I feel like it's going to lead to many more gatherings where we come together as Dragon community. And so take advantage. You might find some more information that you hadn't seen, or someone who's doing something slightly different, the way they're working with the dragons that really resonates with you. And all the speakers, so there's 11 speakers lined up for Sunday. It's running from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., I believe, British time. And so that's, for us Pacific Standard, that's 8 hours, or they're 8 hours ahead of us. So it's going to start at 6 in the morning, which is that right? Yep, 6 in the morning here on the West Coast, which puts you guys at 9 a.m. Sunday on the East Coast, which isn't so bad. But the nice thing is, once you register, it's totally free, dragonthunder.info. When you register, you're going to get access to whatever speakers you want to tune in. You'll have the Zoom link to be able to check into the live, but all the recordings, and then most of the speakers, so at least 17, and there's supposedly some others that are adding theirs in, are doing a pre-record. And as I told you guys, I did mine on the solstice. It was incredibly powerful. The message was potent, and it's timely. You know, the dragons delivered what needed to be said and shared energetically for bridging from the solstice to Sunday the 2nd, and through that week as you watch it, prepping everyone for that 777 that's coming at the end of the week, that 777 this year that wasn't even on my radar. Honestly, I was made aware very spontaneously, very unexpectedly by the Lions. Actually, Asagaya came in to when I went into breathing and starting a Pilates class, and wasn't expecting it. Certainly, you know, they come in always when I least expect it, just like a lion would, like pounce. And why are the lions coming in? Because they're the ones taking over. I've got active work with the upper councils of the lions, which many are embodied as white lions on the African continent, because they are birthing that new energy through that place. And they are the nobility that came in to hold that frequency for us to move into as a match. The dragons are releasing to them. All the Lyran kingdom is coming in to take over from, ooh, there's my head tingle, my full body tingles starting from the dragons. And as I said in the newsletter yesterday, for those that haven't received it, one of the things that indicates, everyone might be jumping on like, oh my God, the dragons are done, they're gone, like they're going to be leaving, what's going on? No, they're just freed of their responsibilities for holding these grids for the eons that they have in service. And as those get transferred and taken over, and some already have in the higher grid works that we don't have to activate, they're waiting for the lower ones to actually get activated and be full online energetically for the full transfer. But as that does, every time that happens, all those dragons are released to come in direct service to work directly with us as guides, guardians, helping move trauma out, helping release work. So just imagine that. Hundreds of thousands of dragons being released from their posts that all of a sudden can now add in for all of humanity that's going to start popping open, right? You've seen it happen in the last 2 years, especially. People just popping out of nowhere, and then they're sort of lost, dazed, confused. Like, I know there's something energetically going on. People are telling me this, it's in my field. What do I do with that? So that's why we're all here trying to share that information, and why I think the Dragon Thunder is so exciting, because not only do I see that as an opportunity, because everyone has a different activator. I activate a certain frequency in dragons. There are others that activate different frequency codes for specific people that are waking up. And we need to connect those dots and find each other and build the larger community. So the second thing that I see coming from that is where I've envisioned these much bigger events globally, where we can bring people that just love dragons all together in a stadium and have 10,000 people actually get activated all at once into their crystalline DNA. Like, literally, like, start turning that on, because we're all gathered and holding that space and holding that vibration for that to happen. So that gets me super excited. So take advantage of it, get registered. Even if you can't make anything that day, everything will be available on playback for, as far as I know, weeks or indefinitely beyond that. Kevin has said it's as long as his portal is open, which I believe is his website, as long as he keeps the portal open, they'll be available. So sometimes it's hard. I know that a lot of times I don't dive into things or always register when there's big summits like this with lots of speakers, because you feel overwhelmed. Like, I can't pick, I don't have time for all of them. This is a crazy week for us in the US. It's 4th of July week, so everybody's off camping or whatever. You're not going to miss it just because you've got all this stuff going on, and you don't have to watch 3, 4, 5 speakers all at once and be inundated. Watch one a day over the next month, or 2 a day, or one here and there. The ones that reach your heart, that you're feeling called on a heart basis as soon as you see them, like, listen to that. So I encourage you to do that. Super excited. And that's, as I said, that week is going to be a big wave going into the July 7th. So where are we at here? Have you noticed how quiet the energy is this week? I saw a post somewhere, I think it was on my Cultivate Elevate, because I'm into gardening and using the copper coils in my garden. Absolutely phenomenal results. If you're a gardener or don't have a green thumb and you want to develop one, check out cultivateelevate.com and learn about electroculture. Absolutely phenomenal results in my garden. Crazy. Like, my peas are higher than I've ever seen. They're like 3 feet tall already, and they've never gotten that big. And those are 5-year-old seeds from my own seed gathering. Like, crazy, right? My potatoes are already 2.5 feet tall and flowering. Crazy, right? So anyway, not plugging gardening, but yeah, I think I just plugged gardening. What he had said was how interesting it felt, like almost as if the Schumann resonance had disappeared. He had put that question out, like, have you guys noticed? Like, here was this big spike, and it feels like it's disappeared. Well, what happens when we hit those big spikes? I want you guys to really realize this. And what's interesting is Magenta and Diamond dragons wanted to be present today in the sphere. So feel into that. Magenta is a Pleiadian dragon. She activates the high heart chakra, particularly on the dragon chakras, but also that works with ours. Diamond is moving beyond the crystalline up in the diamond DNA activation levels. So what's happening when we all of a sudden don't feel anything? Not only is it quiet, so I haven't checked the Schumann resonance calculators, charts, or wherever they register that information daily, but when it's quiet, one, it's giving you an integration period for what just came. That was a major one, came over it was Father's Day here in the United States. I think it was the 18th. it was a couple days before the solstice, but it was the day after. My little heads up, be ready from Asagaya. So you get hit with this big wave. You need time to integrate, and there are lulls, just like waves on the ocean, coming in and big frequency waves coming in towards us. So this lull is about being able to integrate it, receive what got activated, become consciously aware of some of it, and allow yourself the time to rest, prepare upon that integration for the next wave that's coming. So yeah, the Schumann might be drop back down a bit, but realize too that as you integrate that, every time you've gone higher vibration, what's happened? Original vibration that you could feel and sense is no longer detectable on your radar because you're operating up here. So if you're operating at this vibration and all of a sudden you go up a couple clicks, something that used to really activate you, or you might be able to sense in one of your crystals, however you feel energy, all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's so quiet, it's so empty. It's because you've not only acclimated and integrated that full vibrational strata of living with, but you've jumped up so that now everything that hits you that actually feels new or feels high vibration is this much higher. So be aware of that as you progress vibrationally into your higher octave blueprints. That's going to be like a constant awareness level, like, wow, I don't feel that anymore. It's not hitting me. Or when channeling becomes just standard practice, you're in conversation and feel information coming and you integrate it into the conversation. Maybe you never would have done that 3 years ago because you had to be in a quiet space to actually sit and receive. And all of a sudden your channel's open, so now you're getting stuff. My reading spaces I've shared with you guys before, when I'm in session with someone, it's not just here. It moved 3 feet around me, and now it's over 10 feet around me because that allows a greater influx of waves of information and the ability to interpolate and weave it together simultaneously. That's opening your telepathic bodies. Woohoo! A bonus, right? So just be aware that when it feels so quiet, part of it is your own constant ascension in vibration. And part of it is, we're going to have this soft, the dip in the wave, waiting and prepping for the next big wave incoming. So be aware of that. Be ready for the next week. I feel is going to be another, and I think it's hitting the planet. We're finally, it's very interesting to see the weather patterns around the globe. I've only been really focused on hearing, because of our news or snippets that I get, what's going on in the US. And I find it very odd that typically we're high 90s for weeks by now. And we're only going to start hitting 90s later this weekend. So it'll be beautiful and hot for 4th of July. We'll be able to get the swimming pools going on. Like, it's been so cool. We haven't even wanted to go to the pools or the water slides or anything like that because it's like overcast or thunderheads coming in the afternoon and high 70s. Yeah, not quite ready to go to the pool. So, it's interesting because that's here when we're used to much hotter. There's places in other areas that are used to much cooler that are getting 100, 110 degrees. I think down in Arizona, it's already hitting high 110s. What? And I know they get hot, but it seems very random, the patterns. And so allowing, what does your heart say? Listen to it. Is it being manipulated, or is it finally not being manipulated, where we're actually getting into our normal true weather patterns without any manipulation? What does your heart say? Feel that. So the last thing I want to do today, I want to go in and just let the dragons speak. Actually, not the best. I'm going to tuck this in before I do a card. I want to hear from you guys. I posted a picture last week of these two darling little 3D printed dragons that I got at a toy store locally. I'm going to bring it up close. The other one is out on my computer, so I can't bring it up. This one's rainbow, and it shimmers. I don't know if you can see it. Different colors depending on the light that hits it, and they're totally flexible and movable the way they're printed. I mean, incredible design. So I've been in touch with, it's a new business venture of someone here in Reno. And so I have direct access to be able to go pick up an order I was considering getting them for the lair because they're just so precious and not super expensive. I think they'd be like $6 or something. Of course, it'd be shipping, but they're lightweight. I can pop them in small envelopes. So my question to you guys is, do you want to see these guys available in the lair? And I'm going to start with the small ones, but there are bigger sizes that, you know, I don't know if people would spend $30, $60, $90 on one of these. They might. There's ones that have roses down their back. I was just in love with the design and thought, you know, I would love to have those available for people. Yes, aren't they so cute, Kimi? And in different colors. The other one is a layered rainbow, so it actually works from the bottom up. And this one is this shimmer, as I said. So they're little wyverns is what they're called. And if I see enough people that are interested, I will go ahead and get them for the lair and just try some to support a local business, somebody who's also obviously a dragon lover. And, you know, I always love supporting entrepreneurs and getting cool stuff, cool dragons available to my people, to my dragon family. All right, so last thing is going to be feeling a card that wants to speak to us today. Which dragon, besides the magenta and the diamond, who definitely want to be present, who has an actual message directly for everyone that's on the call now? And I see quite a few of you. Yeah, the small size Berkana is so amazing to just, like, you can put it on your rearview mirror. You got to find a way to stabilize it. Like on my computer, it sits there, so fun. This one's been sitting neither on my Oracle deck, on my work tray here, or on my alarm clock. It's a nice friendly face to wake up to. So you just tune in here. There's two, so I'm going to split the deck in two places. Interesting. All right, so the two that it split to, and that's how I work energetically. Wow, look at that beautiful spread across the screen. We got black and white merging and silver. So let's go into that. So silver is Rihanna, the silver dragon, heart lineage, love line from Orion. Softness, embrace, and surrender. Absolutely what we need. So it's not just about softness and embrace and surrender into the heart. That's what she directly works with. But as we're receiving the energies that came in from that big Schumann resonance spike and all the solstice, this is the week to surrender, to embracing it. The softness coming in. I just love the perfection of her showing up for that. And to be aware that it's through the heart. We can soften our bodies and feel ourselves open and everything, but without the focus of the heart actually opening and connecting that to the high heart. So what is the high heart, if you're not aware? It's a chakra opening about 2 inches in front of the sternum. So between the heart chakra and the throat chakra, out in front of your body, maybe 2 inches, just out in front of the sternum, is where you're going to start feeling your high heart activate, if that's new for you. Magenta dragon from the Pleiades. If you have the deck, look her up, as well as Rihanna here. This is that merge from human heart into high heart, and that it takes the heart for us to open fully, to embrace fully, to receive fully, to surrender fully. Gotta be through that love aspect, through that, all right, how much more can I open my heart? How much more can I surrender? And let it be seen, let it be transparent, let myself really embrace everything around me. Love that. Nourishing energy. I've never drawn this great dragon. And that's interesting because you're seeing it as great, but she's actually silver. Obviously hard to depict on graphics with print, but she is actually silver. Rihanna, the silver dragon. And black and white. So this is the dance of the black and white merging, which is, and I'll get to the keywords in a second. Everything about our journey is coming back into a state of union. They are about that merge, that state of union, that coming into wholeness within self, where there's no longer polarization. As the dance of union comes together, polarization completes, and that allows us to move up the central channel into the crystalline frequency bandwidth. That's where our crystalline DNA activates. That's where we start to access our original divine blueprint and moving forward into that. So I love that this is that also supporting energy of preparation, surrender, moving into what's coming next week. And here it's completion, merge, and fusion are the keywords on the card. Those of you that have decks, you can obviously go into the book and read the full extended message about those. But love that they came in for us today. So wishing you guys a beautiful week of surrender and integration. Interesting. So Gabriella, Gloria, I did see 3 times in the last days the silver dragon. You're feeling it. Beautiful, Mary. I think it says Mary. Sorry, it's very small print on my screen to see the post. So thank you for being here, and enjoy this weekend with the summit. I'll be catching some of them later in the evening, and I'm going to go and catch up and find who all these other speakers are as well, because many of them I don't know. Some I've heard their names, some have been in our group for a while, and I want to start forging those connections for those future global gatherings. I think there's going to be a lot of great stuff in there, and Kevin has constantly posted about how powerhouse each of the interviews has been that he's pre-recorded. So enjoy those. I will see you at some point next week. Probably not before the 4th, which is Tuesday. So happy 4th of July to those in the United States. And what that really is about freedom. So I would wish that freedom energy to be, my whole body's tingling on this, obviously needed to go here. That energy of freedom. What is freedom? It's dominion, it's autonomy. That's the full frequency bandwidth of 5th dimensional expansion. It's about self-dominion, self-autonomy, coming into true freedom to live and be who you be in your heart in that moment. And I'm wishing that expansion for each one of you. And isn't it beautiful that that is falling between the 2nd and the 7th? Woo! Freedom calls. And actually, there's a movie coming out in the US debuting on that day. I know there's a pre-day for some theaters on the 3rd, The Sound of Freedom. That movie is going to trigger a lot in this world, a lot of cleanup, a lot of awareness of what's going on with our kids globally. And I won't say more, but I encourage you, if you haven't seen it, if you're not aware of it, go look up your theater, get your tickets now, because the more tickets that pre-sell and the theaters see numbers, more theaters will open up and have it. And it is a true story. Jim Caviezel is the lead actor, who is so powerful, and he is on the forefront of helping this movement go forward about saving our kids and really getting that energy out there. It's freedom for everybody, freedom for all souls, whether it's men, women, children, their freedom being taken over in whatever ways that is. So go and get your tickets for that. Amplify it to everyone around you, and amplify that inner heart message and alignment with freedom, autonomy, self-dominion for all of the planet, because that's where we're headed for the new earth and that 5th dimensional quantum field alignment. Blessings to you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.